Jeff Driscoll's getting the start here for the Browns.
Go.
I got no more use for this game.
Poor Jeff Driscoll.
Some games we're not going to talk about, right? Bengals favored by 7. Browns are locked into the 5 seed.
Yeah.
Bengals are out of the playoffs.
They are.
Your pick?
That's it? That's your analysis of this game?
Well, I'm going to go search for our prize picks lineup so I can talk about that in a second here, but I got nothing else.
You got nothing else?
It's week 18. What are we going to do? What are we going to do?
Yeah, I mean, look.
The 5th starting quarterback for the Browns this year.
Yeah. Joe Flacco gets a week off. Rest the old geriatric body. Make sure he's in tip-top condition for the playoff run, the Super Bowl run.
Yeah, you're going to need that.
Going to do it again. This time he needs a break before that happens. Good for him. Good for Joe. He rested the body. He'd had a year on the couch or whatever, more or less. Comes back in, gets the Browns to the playoffs, gets them in contention, and then, he's going to need a break before the Super Bowl run.
Yeah. He's earned his rest. It doesn't need the reps.
No, God, no. Good for Joe.
Bengals by 7. Browns presumably resting other people.
Yeah.
So what does Cleveland have ahead of them as the 5 seed? They're going to be playing the AFC South champion. It'll most likely be the Jaguars in Jacksonville, of course. It also could be the Texans or the Colts. They've beaten all of them. They may have beaten all those teams already this year.
The Browns are a fascinating team. I know I said that earlier that Buffalo was the second favorite for the AFC, but nobody wants to play the Browns.
Yeah, they beat all 3 of those teams.
Yeah, nobody wants to play this Cleveland team. They have the best defense in the NFL. They have all season long. Myles Garrett is a Defensive Player of the Year level individual, and he's not the only guy up front anymore. And Joe Flacco is capable of having an amazing game. And that alone makes them terrifying because if he has one of those games, given the defense that he's paired with, they're almost impossible to beat. If he doesn't have one of those games, they're still difficult to beat because the defense is so good.
Yeah, if the Browns win, if they do win in round 1, they would most likely play Baltimore coming off their bye, unless there is an upset with one of the 6 or 7 seeds. All of that stuff's possible. But that's pretty much all to talk about here. Eli, you got anything on the Bengals here? We got a who day from Eli. Perhaps rooting for the loss for a little bit better draft position. Can you get Malik Neighbors in there? Can you get Rome Odunze? Can you get close enough to get one of those top receivers?
The Bengals, they're going to be a fascinating offseason team. They have a lot of big decisions looming.
All right, who are you picking in this one?
7.
This is like picking week 4 preseason games.
Yeah, that's the thing. Because it's not, you think Jake Browning, 7 points, Browns defense, it's not going to be the Browns defense. It's going to be the Browns backup defense. And that's probably not as good as the starting defense. It's probably not an all-time historical run.
Throw them out.
I'm going to go with Cleveland keeping it within 7.
I'll take Cincinnati. Do we have snow? What do we have? What's the weather on this thing? That could affect things.
Could affect it.
Where's Green Line?
Here we go.
What's our weather?
Overcast clouds. That's all it's got.
I feel like Green Line only reports cloud levels.
That's
no all snow. We get.
We don't get precipitation, just a cloud cover.
Apparently, I don't see any game with precipitation over on Green Line.
Maybe it's Sunday that it's hitting. No, Saturday. Maybe it's the other day of the weekend.
It could be.